Hey, what's going on, YouTube? All right, so I want to go show you guys something real quick. I want to do a lot of my workouts from home, and I have a gym membership. I love the gym. Honestly, I really enjoy the gym environment, so I still plan on going to the gym. However, I wanted to start transitioning to mostly doing things at home. I'm kind of lazy at home. I think a lot of us are. And I'm going to show you guys some of my equipment that I have. I'm kind of spoiled. I have a nice little array. I live in an apartment. An apartment. So I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff I got. If you ever heard of the sled shed, if not, well, that's the sled shed. So it's actually really cool. Look at this here. All right. So it's a manual treadmill. And then, of course, the name implies, it's a sled. It's got a dip station, got a pull-up bar with a variety of pull-ups that can be done. I like this machine a lot, although when I first got it, it was a pain in the butt. So I have a little video I'll post about that, just kind of my honest opinion on some of the things. But all in all, I would say it's a pretty good setup. For some reason, I still can't get the screen to work. I don't even know what's up. It'll turn on, but it doesn't actually do anything. I have a rebounder. Rebounders are cool. And then this is called the multi-step platform for the sled tread. So I can put that on there and do step ups and split squats and all that cool stuff. And then it has a bar that I lost. Okay. I'm so professional. Oh yeah, here it is. See that down there? Probably not. Oh, let me grab it. Okay, here we go. So this is cool because you could do Nordic curls and all sorts of other things with this sled tread. If you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it. Anyways, no. But you can make it go level like this, and then I usually have it on a decline. So I like to do backwards walking on it and whatnot. So it's really geared for people to be really well rounded, to focus on your knee strength and other things like that. Anyways, I digress. So we got here's my Marcy bench. I just bought this thing maybe a month ago at Sam's Club for $150. And I kid you not, this is the best bench you will ever buy for $150. And, I've been using a gym for many years. And this thing, of course, it's not like those Rogue ones where they're 800 pound, 1,000 pound plus weight limit. But this thing actually is rated for 600 pounds. And it's very sturdy. So, yeah, you could even use this for step-ups and whatnot. Although, I probably wouldn't. I don't see why I would when I have the multi-step attachment. But I got this, and then I have these Bowflex dumbbells. I've had these for a couple years. I got them for a steal of a deal. Let me tell you what. I paid $200, brand new, of course. I paid $275 for them. It was a special deal at Shields. And then, right here, if you guys ever heard of the X3 bar, I've actually been using this since 2019, pre-COVID, man. I'll tell you what, this thing was worth its weight in gold during COVID. Still got the OG plastic, I don't know what kind of, it's some sort of super thick, durable plastic. And then I got these bands and whatnot, and these bands are insanely strong bands, but this is the original bands, so they've got a lot of use. So I spent $500 on this thing. Actually, it was $450, I think. And yeah, here we go. There's 4 bands it comes with. So if anyone ever asks, is it worth it? Heck yeah. I know there's a lot of knockoffs out there now, but I don't know how they work longevity-wise. Maybe they're fine, but the feel of this is amazing. And anyways, I like it. So, and then we got, I can explain. Yes, that's what I'm doing right here. Okay, so I got the This is called the Neck Flex. I bought this 2 years ago and I've only used it 3 times. So I feel bad about it because, you ever like buy stuff and then you're like, I'm going to use it every day. I'm going to use it all the time and my neck's going to be yoked, and then I never use it. Yeah. And the reason why is because I just do too many things sometimes and I wasn't super committed. So I bought it because I want to. Well, I've been in and out of jiu-jitsu for a couple years now, and I love jiu-jitsu. However, I have a tendency to roll with people who are more experienced than me, who still end up hurting me, which you usually hear they say spazzy white belts are the reason why people get hurt. Last time I got hurt, it was a spazzy blue belt. I'm only a white belt still. I also started jiu-jitsu in 2019. So it's like a love-hate relationship because I'm like a sandbagged white belt, or maybe not a sandbagged white belt, but like I'm a 2-stripe, but that's because I haven't been like consistently going, and at least compared to a lot of the people that I've rolled, I'm at least a 3 or a 4-stripe white belt, but I am a little rusty right now. So it really doesn't matter because, stripes really aren't a big deal in a lot of places. And I essentially will just treat it as though I'm like a brand new baby born into this world, the world of jiu-jitsu. So anyways, continuing, I have other bands here. They can be used with the X3 and whatnot. These here are little hooks where you can do pull-ups on. I don't use them for pull-ups so much anymore, but I use them for like single arm curls or single arm band exercises. These are blood flow restriction bands, and I've like really never used these. I might. I don't know. Not too concerned about it. But, oh yeah. I also got this here. This, when I was working remotely for a bank, I just walked every single day. Probably some days I'd walk like maybe 6 miles at work while working a normal day. 5 miles, 4 miles, things like that. So yeah, that's kind of my gym in a nutshell. I call it a lean gym because honestly, you name an exercise and I can do it, but it looks so small. Like with this set here, I could do deadlifts, curls, benching, or they call it chest press, calf raises, overhead press, tricep extension, rows, and then I got the dumbbells. So of course there's like a billion exercises I can do with those, and then I can even adapt and use like bands with the dumbbells. And then of course I got this thing where I could do like 20 different exercises with. So I kind of am spoiled. Like I have everything I need. There's no excuse to be overweight anymore. So yeah, actually my story is, and I'll show some pictures too sometime, but I have pretty much battled with being overweight and not underweight, but overweight. And then like I got really lean for a long time, and pretty much like my whole childhood I was overweight. And then I wanted nothing more than to be like super skinny and have like a 6-pack and all that stuff, because I thought I'd be like hot and all that, and all the chicks would run to me. Yeah, just I battled with that, being overweight, up until the point right before I joined the Air Force. I had to lose 50 pounds to get in. And so I graduated high school, moved in with some friends for a bit, didn't work out, realized I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. So I decided that I was going to start, working out so I can go into the Air Force. And I went into the recruiter and I was like, "Hey, how you doing, bud?" He's like, "Yo, what are you, my boy?" And I'm like, "I want to join the Air Force." He's like, "No, you can't do it anymore. Too fat." I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, all right, I'm too fat." He's like, "If you come back in, you could show me that, just show like, pretty much." He's like, "You need to lose some weight, and And I was like, "All right." So I left, and I'm like, "Gonna go for a run. Don't know how to run, but I'm gonna do it." And my sister and I started going on runs and walks every day. And the runs weren't very long or fast, and I didn't even have running shoes, but went for runs and walks every day, a couple miles a day. Watched what I ate very low, like crap. But I didn't know much about health or nutrition at that point. So I lost 50 pounds in 3 months. I went back in that office, and that recruiter, he was like, he stood at attention. He was like, "Sir, what would you like to join, sir?" And I said, now, sir. In the Air Force, we say sir a lot. Sir sandwich. Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Yeah. So I joined the Air Force. For a couple of years, I was very lean. I'm 6 feet tall, or 5'11.75 or like 8'5 or something. So it's like it rounds up to 6. So I'm 6 feet. Okay. If you ever ask again, I'm 6. And, like, who walks around? I'm 5'11 and 85 hundredths. Dude, like, what the hell? That's stupid. But yeah, so just gonna continue my story now. I digress. I do that a lot. And I joined the Air Force. I was super lean. I got really fast too. So I went from being fat to fast. Like, at least like in my opinion, like, so I went from like being 230 at age 18 to I joined the Air Force when I was 19, but I was 2 months from my birthday, my 20th birthday. So by the time I turned 20, sometime I turned 20 in March, and then graduated boot camp like 2 weeks after I turned 20, and then like a month or 2 months later, I ran a mile and a half in like 9:30. It was like 9:34, 9:36. So it's like a 6-minute mile, like 6 minute and 15-second mile. And that was only after like doing more hardcore workouts for like 3 months, or sorry, like 5 or 6 months. And so I feel like my frame is naturally like, I'm like a natural runner. Yeah, I went from being fat to fast, and then got up to the Air Force. And got up to the that sounds stupid. So I was in the Air Force, and then I got stationed in North Dakota, and I was doing good up until the point I hurt my back, and I had a back injury, and then it was hard to work out. I mean, it hurt so bad. I had like extremely sharp pain in my lower, what do you call it? L4 it ended up being my like lower lumbar and sacral, S1. L4, L5, S1. But it took a whole year. They told me that I probably just pulled a muscle, and I knew that was not true. And a year later, I got an MRI, and they're like, "Oh, you have degenerative disc disease. You can see this is bulging out here." And so then I actually ended up getting medically separated. And then at that point, I wasn't working out a lot, so I had gained weight, about 210 pounds. And then I got out of the Air Force, and I decided that I wanted to do whatever I could to get back to being lean. So I went like full 100% like organic, everything, even candy. That's how it started. I started eating organic candy. But yeah, I mean, it worked. I started eating like all organic everything. I even started like fasting, like eating one meal a day and fasting, and not even like all the hype right now, like all the stuff that's going on. Because this was like 2015 when I got out of the Air Force. And so I started doing this stuff long before I was hearing. I wasn't even really watching YouTube back then. I don't know what I was doing with my life. So yeah, I just started losing weight, and I lost weight so fast because I got this landscaping job, like mowing and weed whacking. I'd walk like seven miles a day on average, and I remember one day walking 12 miles just doing like edging. I mean, you want to get your steps in, you get an edger, and then you go around an Air Force base and just edge everything. But in a matter of 2 months, I went from like 210 to 165, which sounds crazy, and it kind of is. I was drinking like raw milk, or not raw milk at the time. I was drinking like protein shakes, and I put like raw eggs in it, and like I was eating a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruits. It's pretty much, I guess you could say a whole 30 diet, because I didn't even know what that was back then. But I was just like, I'm not going to eat any fast food. I'm not eating any like no soda, nothing like that. I drank kombucha, I drank coconut milk back then, water, and well, yeah. So I did all that stuff. I lost an insane amount of weight in just a matter of a couple months, because when you do 7 miles a day for a couple months on average, and this wasn't counting workouts, I would still go to the gym and do a workout. I just lost so much weight so fast, and then I was very lean for about 2 to 3 years. I was like stable at like about 170. I bounced down a little bit. I went down to even 160 at one point, and my wife was even, well, she wasn't my wife at the time, but she was my girlfriend. She just thought I was looking like a little skinny, and I was going through some stuff too, and I was like felt pretty thin at 160 and 6 feet tall, not 5'11" and 8,500s. But just I thought that yeah, I was a little lean, and I actually had people, even when I was like 170, I had people telling me that, oh, you're so skinny, even though like I had like a lot of muscle definition. Like my biceps were very ripped looking and big, and I was very vascular, and I felt really good too. I was a really good runner, and I had no health issues. But then over the course of a couple years, I kept hearing people talk about how like, oh, you're just so small and all this stuff like that. And I was like, I felt like people thought I was like anorexic, and I was like, well, you can't even fully see my 6-pack abs. Like you can only see like the top two, and like I had a flat abdomen, but it wasn't like I was like that ripped. And then so like I went through some body dysmorphia, and I was like, I'm gonna bulk up. Currently I'm about 200 and what did it say the other day, because it's after the holidays now. I think I'm like 212, but I've done a good job of actually since Thanksgiving I was actually 208 up until we went back to visit family last week. It's really hard to maintain everything. I wasn't even eating like a crazy ton, but it was like not the best quality, and I didn't get the steps in that I wanted to. But anyways, yeah, I've just bounced up and down over the years, and I've I've finally come to the conclusion that I'm gonna just get back to being like leaner, because that's where I was the happiest. But I know that I won't be as lean as I was before, because I did bulk up, and so I was up to 230 here. When was that? Well, that was like May of last year, and then I started playing pickleball. I love pickleball now, so I'm going to talk about pickleball and all that cool stuff. And yeah, so I've been playing a lot of pickleball, and in a matter of 2 months, I lost about 15. Yeah, it was about 15 to 20 pounds in 2 months from pickleball, and just no counting calories, just being mindful of what I'm eating. And like I would still weigh the food, so I would have a good idea of what I want, like what a good serving size is, because I think a lot of people aren't aware of healthy serving size. We're like, oh yeah, I just ate a bowl of cereal, and it was like 4 bowls worth of cereal. So just I got used to like weighing things, and it helped me just kind of like learn to just eyeball things now. So I can look at it and go, okay, that's probably like 28 grams of cheese. Maybe it's 32, maybe it's 25, but it's still like in the ballpark, that's the key. See, with calorie counting stuff, I think it's too demanding. It's too time consuming, because yeah, I don't know. I feel like when I got all these things going on, to keep a little, even on my phone, to physically input the foods and then say, okay, I weighed it out, it was this amount of grams, this is how many calories. It's just too much. I mostly focus on protein. Like I do kind of keep a track of the protein, but again, it's not written down, it's in my head. I'm just kind of like, okay, today I've eaten like 120 grams of protein. Yeah. So anyways, I've rambled on a lot, but I just want to share some things with people, like my equipment and just kind of like what I want to do. So I'm going to be getting leaner again. and it's going to be fun, and I'm going to show everybody exactly what I'm going to do. And yeah, maybe I can help you guys out someday, or maybe you guys can help me if you guys have suggestions for anything. I'm all ears. I don't think I know everything. I think I know most things. No, I'm just kidding. But no, for real, I'm open to opinions, and yeah. So thanks for listening to my rambling. I know that one thing I could get better at is being more like focused and stay on topic. My communications teacher in college told me that. She's like, I gotta cut you off here. You're talking too loud. So I like to just kind of like, go down the rabbit hole sometimes. And sometimes it's cool and sometimes it's not. So yeah. But anyways, guys, take care. Peace out. To health with you.